also taking Caitlyn away from Forgiven. Now, on the other side, Kha'Zix was banned out against Impaler. Lulu was banned as well. First pick was Evelynn. They're not messing around here.
So both of these teams 100% predicted what their opponents were going to ban. There's nothing surprising here. What the Copenhagen Wolves have done is let through LeBlanc. Now this is the moment that Super Hot Crew sit there and say, hang on a minute, why have they let LeBlanc through? What do Copenhagen Wolves have in their back pocket that they want to run into that champion? We'll see what Super Hot Crew decide to lock in for their first round, but giving that Evelynn to Amazing is a smart play. It gives you a strong early game, allows you to put pressure on the Super Hot Crew's lanes, and that could be a good start for the Wolves. Disrupt the Super Hot Crew's lanes, prevent them getting into a strong mid game, and then you can just win the mid game because the Wolves are better at it.
Right now we see Impaler hovering over Vi. Now, if you think back, Vi at the start of the season was a very, very popular champion, played by both of them. It's going to be switched away from them, so I'm not going to dwell on that for too long. LeBlanc, as you thought, coming in here for Selfie. Lucian also taken for Mr. Rals. What will the Copenhagen Wolves reply with?
So the Wolves have got a few options available, knowing that Gragas is up, Ziggs is up. They can go for those farm mid laners and play it safe. Alternatively, you could see them picking something a little bit more obscure and fun. You know, Wolves are one of the teams that do have some other interesting picks to run in that mid lane. I'm not expecting Xerath. LeBlanc's going to make his life hell. And I'm not expecting a Heimerdinger either. Even if the Heimer wants to go top lane, I think LeBlanc should be able to get past the turrets and get kills. So it's a risky pick, because what it means is if Selfie gets a little bit ahead, he has the option to kill this, roam around and kill Heimer. I don't know, they could be having fun, they could be quite serious, but I do think LeBlanc has the option to kill her. Yeah.
Good call. Switching out there to Varus will still not rule out the Heimerdinger. Super Hot Crew themselves might even play that one. Varus switched there for Forgiven. Now, trying to think back, I don't believe he's played any Varus. I think he's... No, he's not. No Varus up until now for the Copenhagen Wolves. So that's a new pick here coming out for Forgiven. Only played 4 times overall in the LCS.
So we've seen Varus do well at different stages. Genja at IM, for example, managing to keep Gambit alive with some great piercing arrows. What I like from the Copenhagen Wolves is some very, very strong AoE. You've got piercing arrows that hit multiple targets. That's great for sieging and for zoning. Ziggs does the exact same job. Anybody gets low from their poke, Evelynn's just going to engage with her Agony's Embrace, and that's going to be a free kill, basically. You chain that all together with a Chain of Corruption, and you've got a lot of synergy between just those 3 picks alone. So I think it's quite smart, but we need to see how they're going to round out the rest of the composition with maybe a Trundle top lane, which would sort of supplement and give them that front line to work along with this Evelynn.
And Lise and Thresh, though, were the 2 picks for the Super Hot Crew, and actually they were hovering over a few different things. Vi again made an appearance. They were thinking possibly about bringing Hecarim to the table, a champion again that we saw a lot of last season, then he just faded out completely and has not really been back since.
Yeah, he's playing in ultra rapid fire mode right now, but not in the LCS, unfortunately.
He's pretty strong, by the way. I've been chased by many a horse this last week.
On the topic, though, Impaler's going to be playing this Elise. This will actually be the 5th time that he's played Elise. He has 0 victories on that champion. I'm not particularly blown away by Impaler on this champion because I feel like he doesn't take advantage of her early game strengths quickly enough. So I'd like to see how he decides to gank and how he decides to roam on that champion this game, especially because with the Heimerdinger locked in now, Elise and a LeBlanc, if they roam to the top lane, they can get onto Heimer. The weakness of Heimer is champions that can run through you. A Ryze and an Udyr are very easy to predict and land those grenades on. It's much more difficult against an Elise and a LeBlanc. So we'll see how they play this one out.
What are they going to finish off with the Super Hot Crew? I'd like to see some different picks coming out from this. As we said, there's no pressure on the Super Hot Crew. Obviously, they're basically training at this point in anticipation of their promotion games later on, but they are going to be picking Renekton. Mima feeling like he wants that extra time on the Renekton. That's going to be going up against Young Bucks Heimerdinger.
So I'm going to go back to what I said. The reason that Heimer worked so well against Gambit was that he was able to create a good zone of control and prevent people coming to him. Now, in a situation where you have Varus and Ziggs and Morgana backing you up, yes, it's going to be very difficult to jump on that little Yordle because you're going to have minefields, you're going to have dark bindings, there's always going to be the ever-present threat of a Chain of Corruption. Renekton with his Slice and Dice, Elise with Repel, and LeBlanc with her Distortion are going to be able to close the gap, dodge the stun from the grenade, and get on Youngbuck. But they need to coordinate. They need to do it together. They need to be putting pressure on Youngbuck and not let him get to a power position as early as he did against Gambit. So while the tools are there for Super Hot Crew to shut down the Wolves, they have to execute flawlessly to make it work.
So a quick refreshment then of where we are. Super Hot Crew, 7th place, locked in, can't go any higher, any lower. The Copenhagen Wolves, though, they have to perform here if they want to move up from that 6th position into the 5th. That also relies on a few other things to be happening throughout the day, so we'll keep you up to speed with that. But with the champions ready to hit the rift, let's have a look how you guys called this game. According to LOLesports.com, 69% of you have gone with the Wolves.
And again, it's just recent form. You know, the Wolves have looked pretty good. They pulled out the Donga. You know, showed it to the world, and it was fantastic. You know, it really delivered. It was everything that we were hoping Heimer would be in the top lane, and now they're doing it again. I'm a little less convinced in this particular composition. I do feel like if Copenhagen Wolves get ahead, their siege is beyond godlike. With the poke damage from Ziggs and from Varus, and having that safety zone with the turrets and an ever-present Evelynn, I think they have a very good siege comp. But they need to get there first. So let's see if they can survive the laning phase and put the pressure on the Super Hot Crew.
Well, here we go. We're going to get into game. It's the Copenhagen Wolves versus the Super Hot Crew. This is the Super Hot Crew's final game of the split. Of course, we do have the Wolves still to play Alliance later on, but they've got to get the job done here first against SHC. Question is, we saw it in that last game, crazy level 1. Are we going to see anything similar this time around?
I'm not expecting a flash over the wall into Dark Binding. That was a very risky play for Millennium. It's one of those things that you like to talk about. You anti-strat your opponents. You watch their VODs. You watch how they play their level 1s. You watch how they position. And for that particular game, SK just did something a little different. And all of a sudden, your assumptions just backfire. There's a saying, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, and that's what ended up happening.
I think that's one of your sayings. Impaler waiting there in that brush. That is the brush that they flashed into earlier on with J-Ree. Don't think it's going to happen this time around. Wouldn't be sad to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Just to quickly touch on some of the spells here, the single teleport that we have in the game is with Youngbuck's Heimerdinger in that top lane. So we'll see how that all works out for him. He's gone for a Doran's Ring start. And Mima with that Renekton, excited to see how he does up against Heimerdinger in the top lane. The Wolves, we said there might not be any level 1 action, but they may prove us wrong.
So we talked about Heimer yesterday. He went triple Doran's Rings as his first items. They've caught Amazing out. Let's see any CC lands.
Oh, this is really bad for him. Amazing going to go very low, but they've landed the Dark Binding onto Impaler. Is he going to get away from this one? So very low. He will walk off, and that was a fantastic start. Very anticlimactic, though, as they just walk away. A couple of men on low health. Not
enough crowd control. That was just pure damage onto Amazing, and you've seen that Selfie started with his W, so he couldn't lock Amazing in place. Also to note, Mixer did not connect with that death sentence. So because of the fact that he wasn't able to hold anybody down for Super Hot Crew to focus, no first blood. That early invade that we were talking about did not happen for the Copenhagen Wolves. And this is a super smart start by Youngbuck, grabbing himself a level 1 white.
All them turrets doing the work for Youngbuck. Gets himself white, and that's because this lane switch is happening here. The Copenhagen Wolves sending their duo up against Renekton, feeling that Youngbuck can handle this 1-2v1.
And it's because Youngbuck doesn't want to be in a head-to-head against Renekton. Because Renekton can slice through a turret, then dice onto Youngbuck, get Cull the Meat, get the stun down, etc. Youngbuck doesn't want to be in that position. Combine the fact that the Copenhagen Wolves do more lane swaps than any other team in the LCS. This is the Wolves trying to counter the weaknesses of their composition, in addition to playing to their team's strengths. You'll notice Mr. Rolls and Mixer haven't actually started pushing that bottom lane just yet. The minion wave is only about to get to the turret. So Youngbuck hasn't even necessarily lost a massive amount of CS and XP if he can get to that tower to leech up that XP and grab some of the gold.
Well, it's just waiting for that wave to come pushing through. The Wolves have already put some pressure onto this top lane when forgiven there with Unlimited, and that's going to be a big wave going in. Mima probably going to take some damage if he tries to step too far out here and claim some of that farm back. There is Youngbuck trying to defend. Meanwhile, Selfie has gone very, very low in the mid lane. That's the pressure that a Ziggs can do, especially at level 3 when he's got all 3 spells to harass with.
Yeah, I expect Ziggs to still be winning that lane until level 6, when the kill pressure from Selfie is going to skyrocket. Once Selfie's got the Mimic of his ultimate to get some damage and apply some kill pressure on Counter, he's got to be a bit more cautious. You've got to give props to Selfie though, he's only 2 CS down, even though he was low on HP and mana. He is still farming relatively well. So I want to see how Impaler makes his first gank happen. At the moment, he's opted to help defend top lane. He's been hovering around for a little while, but hasn't committed to a course of action.
Counter once again going in. Selfie actually going to dive his way. Chains will go off, and that's going to force the barrier out of Counter.
So again, good play. Oh, they've caught Unlimited.
They've caught Unlimited. I'm not sure he can escape this one either. He doesn't have his flash. He already used it earlier on in the engagement, and that is first blood to Mima. Forgiven has to back away. He knows that he would be in trouble as well. He does still have flash and barrier available. Amazing's going to come up and see if he can get anything back.
He's got to be so careful. If Amazing can dodge the crowd control from Impaler, that's going to be his way in. And we'll see how Super Hot Crew react. They have the opportunity to single out a target, and there's a lot of damage on both of these champions. So Amazing cannot afford to play this. Cocoon is down. There's a small window of opportunity. He's going to catch Impaler.
And he's going to face check straight into their one. Is the repel actually going straight over to Ford's Forgiven? And he has to flash away. That was a great move.
And that demonstrates the power and mobility of Elise. If that was a Heimerdinger, it would be able to jump on him. Now Selfie's sticking around on low HP. This is brave.
Oh, Satchel. Oh,
Minion.
He also attacked the minion. That's not what he wanted to do. Selfie there just dodging around, trying to recall. That was so close.
I'm not quite sure it would have killed Selfie, but it would have gotten so close, and there was enough mana from Counter to get one more bouncing bomb out just a few seconds later. It manages to pull a turret towards Mixer and Mr. Rolls, but they're just trying to focus the tower down as best as possible. If you look down the CS, now all of a sudden Selfie is struggling. He went in at level 4 aggressive on Counter, but because of the additional damage he had taken and burned through his pots, he's backed away. He's 18 CS behind.
Kind of hard to hook the dinger when he's stood behind these turrets, you know? I mean, you're never going to be able to get through all that. The Copenhagen Wolves here are continuing to pressure this top lane, and that turret is taking a bit of a beating up until now. Unlimited using that Black Shield. Actually, going to land a binding here. That's a lot of damage that they get for free onto Mima with this wave.
That was a very, very good binding. With 50% of Mima's HP gone, he's close to level 6, but he doesn't have Dominus available at this exact moment in time. So the next wave or 2 should be enough for Forgiven and Unlimited to secure the tower. I think that the Super Hot Crew are probably in the same boat. They've got a lot of good damage in this bottom wave, and if Youngbuck can clear the wave quickly enough, it'll at least delay, maybe buy enough time for Copenhagen Wolves to defend. Impaler won't let that happen though, because they're going aggressive. There's the flame.
There is the flame, but it's going to be a lot of damage onto Mixer. He actually has to flash away. He's going to come back in there. I think he kind of turned back and forth, wondering if he was still in turret range. Wasn't. That's a perfectly executed 3-man dive.
Very well played indeed. What I like to see from Impaler and Elise is securing that first gank, that first real presence in lane. They get the tower. It was to even out the towers as Copenhagen will secure the top lane, but they haven't stopped pushing. Impaler is still sticking around in the bottom lane, and Mima left to defend top against 2 members of the Wolves.
Need to be careful here though with that amount of HP. Heimerdinger can still put a good amount of damage, especially now with a triple Doran's ring, Mixer shield, but Youngbuck snipes him with the rockets. Doesn't quite get the stun there onto Impaler, who comes back in behind him. Youngbuck's going to chase. Here comes Amazing from the side. Mr. Ross trying to do the work with a flash follow-on from Amazing. Gets him a kill.
Yeah, Super Hoku stuck around a little more than they needed to. Mega Inferno Bomb was available by Coutard, and he's going on Selfie a little bit. They're trading back and forth. Now, if Selfie goes forward, Amazing can flank from behind and grab the kill. He wants to. You can see Amazing. He's inching as close as he dares before revealing the vision.
He has everything off cooldown. His ulti, not quite though, for another 10 seconds, but honestly, if he lands all 3, then he can probably finish off Coutario, especially with that Ignite available to use. And, well, that all kind of peters out the possibility of action there with these blue buffs coming up on both sides of the map. Both mid laners want to make sure they're in the right position to get that.
So I like what Copenhagen Wolves have done to respond to that early dive and early deficit. Thanks to the presence of that Mega Inferno Bomb, you know, Super Hot Crew just... I felt the wave was going to get killed, and because Youngbuck got in range close enough, he actually secured a kill onto Mixer. Mr. Ralls now is down in CS. He's got a big wave to farm in front of himself. And we do see that Forgiven and Unlimited have now reset to move to this bottom half of the map. Knowing that Impaler's on Elise and knowing that the tower's down, Super Hot Crew have actually got slightly superior Dragon execution power. But if Copenhagen Wolves can get some turrets down in the pits and get all of their AoE from, well, everyone, that is some very, very good pit team fight power. So the Wolves want to stay grouped and they can challenge Super Hot Crew very effectively.
And Youngbuck doesn't really care about the presence of the Super Hot Crew there. He just says, okay, I'm just going to keep you away from this one. Got my turrets down to protect the start of the Dragon. Will the Super Hot Crew be able to stop this one from happening? I don't think so.
No, they can't. Mimer's not there. Mimer's pushing the top lane. Impaler was nowhere near. And I think the lack of deeper vision didn't give Super Hot Crew enough of a time to respond. So very smart play by Copenhagen Wolves. What I like is they grouped up. Now Kartod's going to get poked. Wow, he was expecting more, and that's barrier blown. Was expecting the ultimate from Selfie. He didn't come in. It's that simple.
Very, very early on that one is amazing. Going to come down on towards the bottom lane. There's the ultimate out of Forgiven. He's going to go with the Lantern. Actually takes it there. Ignite is ticking away. But actually, no, that was from the red buff. Wasn't enough damage either way. And now Youngbuck has been dove on by 2, but he's a dinger and he survives.
Yeah, manages to survive. That was what I'm going to assume is a failed dive. You'll notice Mime has blown his dominance but didn't use Ignite. Mr. Rawls makes it away from that bottom lane fight thanks to Mixer positioning correctly with the Lantern. But now this bottom tower is going to take a massive amount of damage. Forgiven and Unlimited deciding just to farm up the wave instead, actually. Opting not to auto-attack. Death Sentence once again goes wide, and Unlimited doing a very good job at poking Mixer down.
In the middle once again, Selfie coming forward. Actually, Elise is coming in. Countdown's going to get locked up. Will he get away? He's cocooned midair. There is the kill. Impaler actually gets it with an auto attack.
Yeah, managing those max range skill shots. Locks Countdown down. They grab themselves the kill. Now Forgiven and Unlimited try to get some more damage down. That's about 70% of the tower's HP in a wave and a half. And as it stands, Mr. Rawls didn't back. He burned through all of his potions, is relying on his Vamp Scepter and Runes of Masters just to heal back up, but he can't afford to get caught out again. There's no Chain of Corruption just yet for Forgiven, though.
So, again, Forgiven holds a solid CS lead, something that we always experience from Forgiven, and doing it this time on a new champion in his pool. Not played Varus up until now, and I think we can safely say it's working out for him.
So regardless of the fact that Copenhagen Wolves have a gold lead, their composition is going to be better as long as they can avoid giving picks to Super Hot Crew. Super Hot Crew are so reliant on Renekton, Elise, and LeBlanc diving into a fight and blowing somebody up quickly that if they do not do that now and get to a point where they can do that effectively, Copenhagen Wolves comp has all the tools that they need to counter that of Super Hot Crew. Because they're a little bit ahead, because the laning phase has gone quite well for the Wolves so far, they're even on towers, they've got the first dragon, and you notice there that Youngbuck landed the stun on Mimer the moment he sliced in. It's not looking great for Super Hot Crew, and their window of opportunity to scale and find those picks is being reduced. So you'll notice now Selfie and Impaler, they're roaming around, they're looking for opportunities, trying to get vision control, trying to find places to find picks and find kills.
Oh, they're going to walk straight in towards Mimer, who's probably not expecting this one. The ulti comes out, and oh, he's flashed away. He's actually managed to get away, as we are going to see Selfie now going in towards Countdown with Impaler. There's no flash for Countdown. He's got his satchel charge, but he'll be finished off with a Q. Meanwhile, Amazing continues to chase onto Mimer. There's the slice back behind the turret.
So Mimer manages to get away with a very well-timed flash. For a moment, you thought he was going to get down, and we talked about how important it was for Super Hot Crew to find picks. They get one onto Countdown for the second time this game, and with the minion wave here, they should be able to take the tower down as well. This is a very nice swing. It's not over in the bottom lane.
Oh, that Chain of Corruption spreading and Unlimited getting out of range of it, and actually Mixer right at the back went super low. Mr. Rawls went very low as well, and that was crazy, crazy stuff. The Ignite was still up for Mixer. That would have been enough to finish off Unlimited. I could say that from the other way around as well. Unlimited has his Ignite. Both Mr. Rawls, Mixer flashing red.
Yeah, they get away with their lives. It's going to cost Super Hot Crew their tower, though. This is very, very important for the Wolves. Because of the fact that their team comp does so well in these siege comps, if Copenhagen Wolves can start setting up some vision in the jungle of Super Hot Crew and rely on the zoning and the poke of their own comp to avoid and prevent Super Hot Crew diving on them, it's a great way to stamp authority on this match. And we'll see how they play this up. Both at top and bottom tower are down. I expect the Copenhagen Wolves to put a lot of pressure on this mid lane, especially because Dragon's going to be up in 2 minutes. So focus the mid lane, get wards, get vision, get turrets up, and then roll down to Dragon once you either secure the mid tower or it becomes available.
Well, looking at the items of those two mid laners, both got the Athene's Unholy Grail. Kautar actually went for boots at this stage, knowing that he has to be able to run away from Selfie's. We're going to see a big pile coming in Unlimited as his ultimate running. Impaler will repel, but he's still going to get stunned up from that one. Does finally come back down and has to flash away into the Dragon Pit.
And look at all the poke that is being landed. Selfie has, he did jump into the team there a moment ago, but he's eaten 2 bouncing bombs and a piercing arrow, and he's just getting shredded down. Now that he doesn't have the HP, it's going to be so much more difficult to defend this tower. Culling should be available for Mr. Rolls. We'll see if he opts to use it. I'm almost expecting him to do it just to hold on the tower. Forgiven hasn't started auto-attacking yet.
Mr. Rolls actually waiting this one out. Is finally going to hit the button, and that will force the Wolves to back off somewhat. Impaler did come in there as well. Couldn't get the... I forgot the name of the cocoon on towards Unlimited there because he had that black shield on anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked out in his favor. As it stands, Copenhagen Wolves have got the teleport on their team, so Youngbuck still trying to control this minion wave, keeping Mima down. He's actually down on CS. Youngbuck has not been able to get the same CS that Mima's doing, so well played to Mima in that respect. But the moment that you see Youngbuck moving down towards the mid lane of the Dragon, all of a sudden Mima's got such a long time, so much distance to cover. You'll see the Wolves still grouped up in this mid lane. With 15 seconds before Drake, they want the tower or the Dragon.
Oh, Selfie there having to hop away from the piercing arrow and just got out of range of the dark binding as well. But the Wolves being pretty relentless on this one. They're going to keep pushing up towards that turret, and this is where we see how strong the poke is. Kautar pushed quite far forward, going to bounce those bombs in there. We see the piercing arrows constantly being thrown out as well when they're off cooldown, and that will be the third and final outer turret of the game taken away by the Wolves.
More importantly, they've got good positioning now to set up for Dragon. Selfie's been forced to use his distortion defensively. He needs to avoid so much damage, and he still hasn't backed. Since taking that poke over a minute and a half ago when Dragon was, when mid lane was being grouped by Copenhagen Wolves, Selfie just doesn't have the HP to engage. And look at this, SUPA crew, they give up the Dragon. Very, very smart, coordinated play from the Copenhagen Wolves. I was afraid their composition was going to struggle in the straight-up head-to-head matchups, so they did a lane swap. You've seen how Youngbuck, he gave up 1 kill thanks to a tower dive by 3 members of SUPA Hot Crew, but that's it. He's survived the laning phase. He's got enough money to complete his Zhonya's Hourglass as well, unless my math is terrible, and that is a key, crucial item on that Heimerdinger.
Now, and doing some good damage here onto Mima as well, but we do see the spider on the top side of the map. Impaler waiting on the grave of the outer turret in the top lane, and Youngbuck just sticking in behind his turrets, throwing as much damage as he can on towards Mima. Impaler has now gone through, but will Youngbuck fall for this one? He still has a flash, so in the grand scheme, still pretty safe.
We'll have to see. I mean, Cocoon and a stun, it's going to be risky. Impaler, he's looking for Youngbuck to get on the other side of the minion wave, but more importantly, Amazing and Unlimited are nearby. They know this is going to happen. Now all of a sudden, SUPA crew, they're in trouble.
Going on towards Mima. Here comes Unlimited from the backside. Mima is going to go south, and then Impaler just said, I'm running away from this one. It's Youngbuck that picks up his second kill of the game. Meanwhile, Unlimited did land the Dark Binding, but there's the Thresh Lantern. Makes it will bring his teammate to safety.
Again, really good decision-making from the Copenhagen Wolves. You have to feel that Youngbuck knew something was up. He knew that Mima was sticking around a little longer than maybe he should have. Got the support from the rest of his team, and they turned that around. They grabbed themselves a kill. And not only that, Youngbuck's teleporting bottom to defend the tower, so he's going to keep farming his way up. He's got his Zhonya's Hourglass completed, and all Youngbuck's going to look to do is control these side lanes while you rely on that long-range poke from Kautar and from Forgiven to keep SUPA Hot Crew down. That window of opportunity, that early advantage that SUPA Hot Crew had, is now being negated further and further and further.
Getting close to a 4,000 gold lead here for the Copenhagen Wolves. Mr. Rolls, though, has managed to squeak himself ahead in the CS ratings here, 160 to 152. We can see that Forgiven working up towards that last Whisper by the looks of it as his second item. Interestingly enough, when Renekton's gone all magic resist.
Yeah, Renekton has to because of the fact that he's got 3 AP threats and he's in lane against Youngbuck. So at this point in time, Renekton, I think, is looking to deal with Heimer and probably Ziggs more so than Forgiven. But the problem is there are too many damage threats. You know, you've got 4 sources of damage on the side of Copenhagen Wolves that Super Hot Crew have to find a way to get through. What I like about Unlimited is thanks to the global gold that he's picked up and the fairly safe laning phase that Unlimited and Forgiven have been in, he's got himself in Mikhail's Crucible very quickly. So these single target stuns from the Death Sentence, the Cocoon, etc. is immediately going to be cleansed, and Copenhagen Wolves can get away from that threat of somebody being instantly burst out. Now, we do see Selfie flanking from behind. If they don't kill someone instantly, this is going to go so badly wrong for Super Hot Crew.
Moving back on that one, Mixer looking to get in. They've put a bit of damage on towards Amazing, but there is a flash hook. It lands onto Amazing. Well, they turn around. Mixer's going to fall. Mimer's right in the middle of the team. He will have to try and dash away. That will be a 1-for-1 in the end. And, well, it was the Super Hot Crew that got that one started off. The Wolves pulling away perfectly. Yes, they did lose Amazing, but only because of the hook.
Yeah, very good flash hook from Mixer. Selfie needed to use his abilities to dodge the Wolves. He pulled enough focus from the Wolves to keep them to stick around, but you keep noticing that Selfie is using his distortion as a damage prevention ability. He's using it to dodge skill shots and prevent getting locked up. He's not using it to combo with his Sigil of Silence and combo for his full burst damage. So at this point in time, Selfie's basically running interference. And as long as the Wolves can't stick to him or lock him down, it's doing an okay job, but a 1-for-1 and no objectives means it's not the end of the world. The Wolves still have map control. The Wolves still have presence around the map. Now Mime and Impaler are trying to set something up on Counter. It didn't work last time, and I think wisely they're going to back away.
Yeah, backing straight off from that one. We've got 1 minute 50 until we see the Dragon re-entering the map. And there is Coutard waiting around, Mime wisely backing off as well. See the last Whisper now, done one thing that we didn't think about on that one as well. The fact is, Forgiven's not going to be auto-attacking. The Wolves want to be pushing these towers down, and that's going to make his piercing arrow hurt all the more.
It's the strength of the Copenhagen Wolves comp. You want to be landing piercing arrows, and it's actually a very, pretty wide missile length, so in those corridors where you've got Ziggs bombs being thrown at you, piercing arrows, and you've got a minefield to dodge, it makes your life so much easier to land those skill shots. And Forgiven is not an AD carry that misses skill shots often. He is arguably one of the best AD carries in Europe right now, and he's doing a phenomenal job this game. Because Super Hot Crew didn't find enough kills or didn't find enough picks early on, they now have to suffer the power of the Siege comp. This is 3 members of Copenhagen Wolves pushed all the way down the mid lane because Renekton's not there, because LeBlanc's not there, and now they've got the support of Evelyn to back them up. I think the Copenhagen Wolves can stick around as long as they have vision on Renekton and LeBlanc.
Interesting choice here. Heimerdinger went top. Selfie is going to take the inner bottom turret here. Inner middle turret, though, is surely going to go down to the Copenhagen Wolves. See, putting up as much defense. The hook just swinging by there, not quite catching Coutard. And that will be a turret for 2, technically, in favor of the Super Hot Crew, but they might not stop at that.
So because Youngbuck is pushing the top lane, Copenhagen Wolves have the ability to peel away, ward up Super Hot Crew's jungle, and then go for that top turret. Super Hot Crew will most likely not be able to defend this one in time. They don't have a teleport. They're not in position. So 2 towers for 2, but those are 2 inner turrets in reply for just that one in the top lane. So Copenhagen Wolves, again, extending control. Look at all of the vision on the blue side, on the red side of the map in favor of the Wolves. They are going to have so much information to work with. Mr. Riles, I feel like you're a dead man. You need to back away, and I think he's moving back at least towards Selfie, but that was very brave. It looked like he was going to get collapsed on by the Wolves.
Coutard using his satchel to just jump out of that scenario. Selfie waiting, can he catch anyone out? And, well, he misses the chains onto Youngbuck. Lands his Q, but nothing to really follow up through with that one. There's that Banshee's Veil, of course, that was picked up earlier for Mimer. Going to get popped in the lead up to this Dragon fight. I'm not sure how much of a fight it's really going to be. I think the Wolves are far enough ahead to feel comfortable. It's all depending possibly on how Mixer can really control this fight. Yeah, they've not really got close. There is lands onto Youngbuck, but it doesn't really matter. He's got himself a Zhonya's. There is Youngbuck now on a killing spree. Mimer goes low. Mr. Rolls got caught with a chain of corruption. They force him away from it. They can take that Dragon.
If Super Hot Crew wanted to engage, they needed to jump in much quicker. If Super Hot Crew were looking for a fight, they need to surprise the Copenhagen Wolves. If they sit there and they eat all of that poke, that's it. It's the end of the story.
And they did take the Dragon as well. Yeah, I totally missed that one. But
Youngbuck was sitting in the back line. They didn't really even need all of the Wolves to defend because, like we said, there's just there's no kill threat, there's no kill pressure from the SUPA crew. So for for SHC to pull this back, they need to have wards, deny the vision of the Wolves. You see they've got 4 sweepers. Once they deny the vision of the Copenhagen Wolves, they can jump in from the side. And very importantly, Selfie's going to land his hooks. He needs to get those ethereal chains down. He looked for it on Youngbuck, but he didn't connect. And obviously, if you don't connect those skill shots, then the threat of getting kills is much lower.
There's so much gold with the Copenhagen Wolves now as well. Actually, Kautar did already spend up. He finished off that Rabadon's death cap, and the rest of the team sitting on between 1,200 and 2,000 gold there as they go back home to spend. That's scary, scary stuff here for the Super Hot crew. We'll see what the rest of the team start to pick up as they move through. We see another BF sword added in for Forgiven. There's a Giant's belt for Evelyn as well. Not good times for the SHC.
Now, Copenhagen Wolves, with the vision that they got from the red buff area of Super Hot Crew, want to regain that control. You'll see the sweepers are all available for Super Hot Crew. They're trying to clear out their jungle as best as possible. And I like the fact that the Wolves are sticking together as a unit when they're invading for those wards. You've seen Amazing was in that top lane. The rest, the other 3 members of the team were by Baron Pit. And only Youngbuck is split pushing because he's the one that teleports. Selfie is waiting for Amazing to get by, and Amazing just such smart play. He recalls out of vision of both champions, and Super Crew, they don't manage to string together a kill. They're looking for picks. That's what their comp does.
A lot of damage there. Mixer forced to flash away. Doesn't want to go down. He's died 3 times. We should do a bit of an update here on in terms of Mixer and 122. The most death record.
So 122 current deaths in 28 games for Mixer. If he wants to break Kiwi Kid's record, it's 126 is the number of deaths that we're looking at. Selfie with that sweeping lanes is trying to get damage. That is so much poke. Great dog binding.
Will they finish him off here from this one? Actually, yes, they will. Snipe through the red buff pit from Forgiven. Says, thank you very much. I'll take my first of the game. And they go straight over on towards the Baron. The Super Hot crew going to be very hard pressed to defend this.
This is going to be a steal from Impaler is the only option available. You see his Spiderlings were killed. He's taking too much time. Flash is available, going in, he didn't get it.
Didn't get it. Impaler was a little bit too fast on that one. Mixer, meanwhile, gonna get caught up. Mima also caught out. Mima actually took the lantern. Probably didn't need to do that. He could have flashed over the back of the Baron pit. That will be a double kill coming out for Forgiven. 4 men down with the Baron. Great play from the Wolves.
A very dominant performance from the Copenhagen Wolves. They accelerated the laning phase quickly enough to make this mid-game theirs. Now we do see an attempted steal from Impaler. One bouncing bomb from Kautar actually kills all of the Spiderlings from Elise. She tries to repel in, but it's just too little too late. Very well timed from Amazing and the rest of his team. And truthfully, this was just a bit of a slaughterhouse. They have so much damage. It was a 5v1 basically because Super Crew went in individually and they just get shut down. With Baron and all of the damage, they're going to grab the inhibitor turret. They don't even have to stop here. They've still got full HP. They've caught Youngbuck.
Mixer's going to get going down again, and Unlimited falling low at the backside as well. He will flash away. Impaler goes low. Mr. Rolls trying to snipe through there. That was actually a 1-for-1. Youngbuck did die.
Yeah, he didn't even get off his Zhonya's Hourglass in that team fight, so a small misplay on the side of Youngbuck. Forgiven though, with still a massive amount of HP and mana, he can still force them down. Amazing's been caught out.
Yeah, I went a little bit too deep on that one, I think. Mima actually looking to get in there. He's Selfie from the side. Forgiven going to take a lot of damage. Double kill for Selfie. The cocoon has landed as well. Forgiven going to be hard pressed to do this one. Does get one on the way out though. That gives him another double kill.
Yeah, I'm not sure Mr. Rolls needed to flash for that one. He really thought he would catch Forgiven off guard, but ends up just getting melted himself. 4 members of the Wolves have lost their Baron buff. Yes, that's not ideal, but they still have super minions streaming through the middle lane. Kautar is being zoned away by Selfie, and if Selfie eats a bouncing bomb, he's going to go down. He can't run the risk of, engaging in this one. Finds the Heimer turret. Not going to be able to secure a kill. Kautar gets his blue buff, and Selfie is still on the hunt. This is very, very risky for Selfie.
Oh, he's going to face check straight into this one. Countdown. He's going to get silenced up and locked up. Selfie, no, not quite got the damage. Does get the kill in the end, though, thanks to that Ignite. Shut down.
The silence was so important because Kautar just couldn't get that spell reel off. He manages to at least remove the last Baron buff from the members of Copenhagen Wolves. So all 5 of them have gone down in the last minute. And as we talked about, map control and map presence is all in favor of Wolves. And because of the champions that the Wolves are playing, the fact that super minions are in that middle lane is worth more to them than the Baron buff. The Baron buff is nice, great. But because they can rely on the super minis in the middle lane, you notice how the Wolves are just pushing bottom lane. This is how they want to play the comp. And Unlimited, he's going all in on Pela.
And there is the repel, but where you're going to go down on top of Heimerdinger, and he's going to blow you to pieces. Amazing actually stealing it with the hate spike there in the end, but that is another kill, and they're going to take another turret.
I don't know why Mimer's in the top lane. It's pretty obvious that the team is pushing towers. Mixer's going in. I think he wants the record.
I think he wants the record, and he might just get it at this rate. However, he may set some things up for his team. Selfie does get caught out. He will be finished off in the end. Double kill for Amazing, and now Mr. Rolls trying to chase onto Unlimited. Surely has the damage, but a big blast from Heimerdinger at the back will send him back.
Yeah, Amazing was also flanking around the side. If Mr. Rolls had continued that chase, it would have backfired for him. So at this point in time, another tower secured for Copenhagen Wolves. They get towers and objectives at the cost of giving up kills. I don't think it's too bad for them, especially because they are, just so far ahead in map control. 10,000 gold, going to secure yet another dragon. Super Hot Crew haven't so much as touched the dragon this game. 4 out of 4 and a Baron for the Wolves. You just have to think top or bottom lane. They're going to pick one, begin sieging it up, get the poke, and look to finish the game.
11,000 gold delete. Oh, that was close. Lyman just put in the ward down on top of Amazing, but he was able to recall out of there. 2 more deaths for Mixer gives him the overall record.
That is correct. 119. He was 119 coming into this game with his 6 current deaths. That puts him at 125. Kiwi Kid set the record at 126 as a top laner. And it's something we talked about. With that many deaths as a top laner last year, his team didn't even face the summer promotion tournament. So it says a lot, but nevertheless, Kiwi Kid's been moved to the support role and not dying as often this time around. You have to admit, Mixer, a lot of those deaths actually comes from the laning phase. And I think he's the sacrificial land for his team. Generally, when he goes down, the rest of his team has been able to pick up kills and work around him. And it's even the case this time around. They've still got 11 kills to their name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he flash plays in there. He's going to go down once again here. But Selfie actually doing some good work. Unlimited's going to get caught between 3 of them. There is the ultimate. Will he be finished off? Inferno Bolt comes over. That did get them a kill. Heimerdinger's gone down. Forgiven doesn't quite land his ultimate. He was flashed away by Mimer. They take down Impaler there in the end. That's actually a 4 for 2. The Wolves might be able to finish off here.
They've got super minions moving through the middle lane. They've also got a massive wave of minions on this bottom half of the map. So they should be able to get themselves at least the inhibitor. I don't know when the middle inhibitor's respawn. It is right now, in fact. So both inhibitors can be secured. There's not the longest of death timings on the side of Super Hot Crew, so I think the Wolves will get both inhibs and then back away.
Well, one is going to fall. They'll switch over towards that mid lane. Few members of the team, well, few being 2, that's technically a couple of them spawning in, Mixer and Mimer to defend that one, but the Wolves playing this one safe as we expected. They're just going to back away. They must have a good amount of gold to spend. 2,500 on the mid lane, 1,200 on the jungler and the AD carry. That's more big items.
Yeah, if you look at those gold differences, it's like 2,000 to 3,000 between each individual lane. That is a full item ahead that the Copenhagen Wolves have afforded themselves. They've got, there's 7 kills above. That's not a massive amount. 13,000 gold, 8 towers to 4, super minions in 2 lanes. And as we talked about, the siege composition, when it gets ahead, Super Hot Crew are going to have a tough time dealing with this. They don't have the safest wave clear. The only thing they can rely on as far as wave clear is concerned is the culling. And that's going to deal 1 wave. That'll deal with 1 wave of minions. And unfortunately, Super Hot Crew, they needed to have predicted that lane swap. This could be it. This could be the record.
It looks like it's going to be as well. Mixer does get the flayback, puts down the box, but Countown will get the kill. And there is a new record for the amount of deaths in a single split for Mixer. It's an award. I'm not sure it's really an award that you want to be proud of, but he's got it nonetheless.
I can tell you right now that Mixer was clapping when that death went down. At the very least, he is in positive spirits, making the best of a bad situation, I guess. Remember, Super Hot Crew are in 7th place regardless of the outcome of this match. So can they make one last-ditch effort? Can they steal this Baron? It is a 5-on-5 with Impaler getting rooted. It's going to make his life so much more difficult.
Colin coming across the side, and actually forcing to back away somewhat from the Baron. Impaler is going to look to steal this one, and therefore the Wolves are a little bit scared of going over the Dark Binding. Did land, and here comes Elise over the top. They're just going to wait. They get the Baron. They're going to kill Impaler as well. Meanwhile, the Super Minions are actually hammering away on the Nexus turrets, and it's now a 5 versus 4. Although Kaltard is pretty low, he's probably going to have to go home and heal himself up before coming in. They got minions pushing the top wave as well.
Yeah, Super Hot Crew are in all defense mode. Impaler is down, and Limited is going to get killed at least, so Selfie finds 1 kill. And Young Buck just a little bit short there, underestimating the range of that distortion. So we did see Selfie getting away with his life, and now Copenhagen Wolves, they don't have an AD carry with them. They're just letting the minions do the work. It's just a matter of time before they close this game out.
Yep, I think so as well. With both inhibitors down, the Nexus turret's already taking a bit of damage as well from those super minions before. We've seen Ziggs now has a Zhonya's Hourglass as the Randuin's Omen finished off for the support Morgana. So overall, just a slight step ahead, I think we can safely say here are the Copenhagen Wolves.
So this is a very big confidence boost for the Wolves when you consider they played their last 2 games of Super Week today. This is the first one against the Super Hot Crew, and they will be playing against Alliance a little bit later in the day. It's actually the last game of the day.
We were on a bit of a downer as well after losing 2 games in a row.
Now, what we did talk about is if Copenhagen Wolves want to challenge for 5th place in the seedings, they are looking to go 2-0. They're looking to defeat Alliance, and they're looking for Gambit to pick up a win against Alliance as well. If that scenario happens, we will have a 3-way tie for 5th place, and I believe we will be going for that 3-way head-to-head, which will mean the round robin potentially into that elimination bracket. So the Wolves, they've taken step 1. Oh, Kaltard! Is he dead? No!
Flash away from that one. Here comes the Inferno Bomb, and the Culling actually coming out. Forgiven goes very, very low. Young Buck's at the front. He's got the stun off onto Mr. Roll. They focus down Mima to half HP as well. They're surely going to have this turret away. Amazing. He's still full HP and can just stand at the front there and tank things out. That is the final inhibitor turret going down for the Copenhagen Wolves. But here come the Super Hot Crew. They've all healed up. Mixer is coming to the front. He manages to land the hook. Kaltard going to use his Zhonya's. The box is down. Unlimited is low. Mima's actually falling pretty low as well. He's all on his own here at the front, and Kaltard being ignited does somehow hold on to his life at the end. There is a flash in. Selfie, well, he went on to Youngbuck, managed to pop his GA, and then he gets finished off. There is a Dark Binding as well onto Mr. Riles. He won't survive that one, and now it's all on Impaler to save the day.
Another dominant performance here in the LCS. SK Gaming did it in Game 1, destroying Millennium, and the Copenhagen Wolves, they came out swinging. They landed every single bit of poke that they needed to, and they got through the laning phase by some very smart decisions. Copenhagen Wolves are taking down Super Hot Crew.
Nexus turrets both gonna go down here. The Nexus itself not gonna be enough. Just Impaler there to try and hold on. They may try and get a few more. 1 more kill from this one. Mima's coming up in 5 seconds. They won't take out Impaler, but the Copenhagen Wolves have done 50% of the job that they came here today to do, and they picked up the win against the Super Hot Crew.
Yeah, in terms of finding that tiebreaker, they need to win both of their games, and they need Gambit to win as well. So it's not entirely in the Wolves' hands, but a bit of the weight that they need to carry has been, carried. And another strong performance by Heimerdinger. We talked in the Picks and Bans how Super Hot Crew needed to deal with Heimer. They needed to get in his face and they needed to shut him down. If they had done that, it would have reduced that siege power, but truthfully, it wasn't even the Heimer that was that impactful. It was Kaltard on Ziggs and Forgiven on Varus. Their long-range poke melted Super Hot Crew's HP bars, and they were never once at full HP in a fight.
Now, you saw when they tried to come down and have just a look at Dragon and see if it was being done, they got hit with everything. They have to back away. They're losing people even. And you've got the likes of Elise, who this setup's almost perfect for her there because you have the guys poking